The Chicago Beer War killed a lot of people during the Roaring '20s, so it seems odd that the architects of this bloodbath would end up being buried in the same Catholic cemetery where the city's bishops were interred. They can all be found at Mark Carmel Cemetery. Capone was the name that dominated that era. It was first on our tour. Johnny Torrio created a bootlegging empire and then turned it over to the man whose name would become synonymous with crime in Chicago. That would, of course, be Al Capone, Snorky, the big guy. He committed countless crimes and survived many assassination attempts, only to be jailed for tax evasion and killed off by venereal disease. Two of his brothers aided him in his empire. There was Sal, or Frank, who was killed by Chicago police on a Cicero Street during the infamous 1924 election, and Ralph, Al's mostly clean frontman, who gave us dates on milk containers. Following Al Capone was his loyal aide, Frank the Enforcer Nitti, who took over Al's gang and transformed it into the outfit that would dominate Chicago for the next 40 years. Although known for preferring corruption over violence, he is suspected of having Mayor Cermak killed after the Chicago police tried to kill him. His end came when, facing jail time over the Hollywood bribery scandal, he took his own life in March of 1943. Or so the story goes. There is a school of thought that Nitti was murdered by his friends, fearful of him singing. Then there's the terrible Gennas, a crime family of 6 brothers with nicknames like Bloody and the Devil. Their crime career began as enforcers for Anthony D. Andrea during the infamous Alderman's War. Eventually, they ran the Taylor Street area for Diamond Joe Esposito, who was a hidden power broker these times. The backbone of their organization was a bathtub gin operation that employed hundreds of families in their own homes. Their demise came when they found themselves at odds with the Irish mobsters on the north and their ally Al Capone on the south. When 3 of the brothers were gunned down within the space of 3 months in 1925, the remaining Gennas took the hint and retired. We now move to the north side, both in story and in burial site. First to the tomb of Dion O'Banion, one-time singing waiter, a flower fancier who had his own shop named Schofield's. He was a cold-blooded killer who, more than anyone else, caused the conflict that painted the town red with blood. Aided by childhood friends like Earl Hymie Weiss, Vincent the Schemer Drucci, and George Bugs Moran, they ruled Chicago's north side. Dissatisfied with their turf, they touched off the infamous beer war. Then in late 1924, his life came to an end inside Schofield's. He was gunned down as he shook hands with customers looking for a funeral display. They turned out to be killers from the Genna gang. That left leadership of the Northsiders to Earl Hymie Weiss. He was another ruthless killer who suffered from migraine headaches and arterial cancer. This is probably why he was known as the human time bomb. Following O'Banion's death, Weiss fought a relentless war against the Italians. He drove Johnny Torrio out of town, helped put an end to the Gennas, and pursued Al Capone relentlessly, including the famous Cicero hit that used 8 cars filled with gunmen in a daylight assassination attempt. Finally, in 1926, he was murdered across the street from the same flower shop that Dion O'Banion died in, on the steps of Holy Name Cathedral. His crypt is within eyesight of the Bishop's Mausoleum in West Suburban Mount Carmel Cemetery.